The question whether it is possible to convert programs from MQL4 to MQL5 is asked again and again. Basically, this process is called converting, and in parts it is definitely possible. However, MQL5 is a somewhat different programming language than MQL4. At the time when MQL4 was the only available option for traders worldwide, it was more of a scripting language. That is, its structure was not necessarily object-oriented and there were some inconsistencies in the structure of the language. Then, about 12 or 13 years ago, MQL5 was introduced for the first time. However, at that time many traders were not ready to switch from MQL4 to MQL5. One of the main reasons for this was that MQL4 and MQL5 were not compatible with each other. Today, this has changed in many ways. The programming language vendor, MetaQuotes, has decided to subsequently enable many of the concepts introduced in MQL5 to be used in MQL4 as well. However, there are still many differences between the two languages. Similar to human languages, there are some things that are relatively easy to translate, while other functionalities require significantly more effort. You can basically say that everything that existed in MQL4 is also present in MQL5. However, the implementation often differs significantly. So does it make sense to convert a program from MQL4 to MQL5? Well, that depends a bit on whether you understand how the program works. If you are able to understand the trading logic of an MQL4 program, then you can also recreate the individual functions one by one in MQL5. However, if you don't have access to the program code, it will probably be difficult to rebuild an expert system that was created in MQL4 about 10 or 15 years ago. So there is no universal recommendation. However, if you already have experience with MQL4, moving to MQL5 should not be a particularly big challenge for you. The language itself is very similar in structure and differs perhaps only 20% in syntax. Nevertheless, the switch makes sense from my point of view. MQL5 is more modern and offers significant advantages, especially when it comes to strategy and mass testing. This allows you to save the time you need to relearn from MQL4 to MQL5 later on in production. To deepen your knowledge of MQL5 and ease the transition, you could look into the various tutorials and courses available online. Our MQL5 Premium course is one such option. There are many resources that can help you better understand the differences and similarities between MQL4 and MQL5. Remember that programming is an ongoing learning process, and don't hesitate to ask for help if you run into problems. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.